Hello everyone, I'm back and I have some new Battalion Wars content to bring you guys. It's been a while, but I recently got a request. Ooh. Well, anyway, I did get a request to show all of the units in this game, and it was in particular because I have the amazing ability to record them in HD via the Dolphin emulator. So I figured I'd go ahead and do that. And this video, if I put all of the units in just a single video, it was going to be like 40 minutes or something ridiculous. So instead I'm going to upload each army as their own video. It should be between 5 and 10 minutes each, I would say. So let's go ahead and get into this. Okay, so we'll start with the Solar Empire. As you can see, I just recently unlocked everything again because I lost my save file for like the 100th time. But anyway, starting with the Rifle Grunt, I'll also be showing the descriptions for each of these units at first, and then I will remove them. I wanted to remove the cursor, but I couldn't find any way to actually do it. I know there used to be a way to do it, but in current Dolphin, I couldn't make it go away completely, but I did the best I could. I also will be showing, as you noticed, probably, some details for each unit, such as what missions they appear in, including online, if they're playable normally, and how much health they have. And sometimes I'll have some other tidbits of information, like right here we have the Flame Veteran, who was previously the Plasma Veteran in Battalion Wars 1. Don't know why they changed it. It still bothers me. Something else to note is that these health values might sometimes seem like they don't make a whole lot of sense, and that's because even though health does play a big part in how many hits a unit can take, there's other important factors, like just how strong certain damage types are against certain units. Like, obviously infantry is going to be really weak to explosive damage and most damage in general, whereas like an anti-air vehicle takes pretty much no damage from a bomber, even though most units would take a lot of damage from a bomber because it has a special resistance to the bombs from that unit. But all that aside, let's talk a little bit about the design for the units in this game. So, the Solar Empire, infantry specifically, is pretty similar to how they were in Battalion Wars 1. But they did undergo some changes. And in general, all the armies did, I would say. Except the Anglo Isles, of course, because they're new to Battalion Wars 2. But if you compare how armies looked in the first game to this one, you'll notice that they're much more based around one uniform color. So the Solar Empire, in the first game, they were mostly gold, especially if you look at the veteran units. They looked quite different from how they do in this game. And the big change is that now all of their units are mostly just white and dark gray. I don't honestly dislike the change. I think that the new designs actually turned out really well. But I can understand why some people would miss the old designs, because even though there was one primary color that represented the army, even in that game, it wasn't really reflected by how the units looked. So in the first game, the Solar Empire's main color was actually light blue, I guess you could say. It was definitely the least obvious for them, but I'm just assuming it was light blue because that's what the color of their text box was when the CO would talk. But then you have like Tundra, where even in the first game it was really obvious they're red, of course, because the text box was red, their uniforms were mostly red, and the icon for when you played as them was the red fist. So, but even with Tundra, in the second game, it became even more red, I would say. Because in the first game, there was a lot of, like, brown on the veteran uniforms and the grunts as well. But going back to the Solar Empire, when you look at them in this game, all of their units have white and gray. And the text box is also white. And something else that's kind of interesting that they did in this game is when you look at units in the game, whether they're friendly or enemy, and even on the map, they show up as the color that they represent. So when you look at Solar Empire units, they will have a white health bar, and on the map they show up as white dots, which I actually like a lot. I think that's great. Instead of just having enemy units show up as red and friendly units show up as green, which is how it worked in the first game. Overall, the design choices of the second game remind me of something like the Army Men series, where each army is just one color. Obviously, Battalion Wars 2 isn't quite to that extent, but in the end, I think it turned out pretty alright, and I like the way that the units ended up looking in this game. So, what was the point of this? I don't really remember, but I just thought it would be nice to talk about the design changes for units. I'll probably do that a little bit with the other armies as well. But other things related to the Solar Empire I can talk about is that they have way more units in this game than they did in the first one. Like, in the first game, they had so few units that in just the bonus mission, you played as all of the available units in that game. And same with the Iron Legion. But in this game, they added a lot. Obviously, they added naval units, but infantry-wise, they added all the other veterans. They added more vehicles, like the light tank wasn't in the first game. Air units, they have air transports now, and gunships, which actually I didn't even talk about the gunships because I was blabbering about other stuff, but their gunship might be one of my favorite units in the game. I really like the way they designed that unit. It's the only helicopter that doesn't have a propeller, and it has this cool noise when you fly around in it. And its shots are all like the blue plasma-ish stuff. So, definitely cool. And probably my favorite army in the game. It's kind of a tough choice between them and Exylvania, because Exylvania is just freaking great and awesome. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be the Solar Empire. And plus, how can you not like Admiral Akira? He's basically the greatest. But yeah, we're actually approaching the end of the Solar Empire units. Finishing things off with their naval transport. And next time we'll be looking at the Western Frontier units. Should be good. We'll get to talk about a couple of the unused units that everyone was hoping would be in the game. But have a nice day, and I will see you in that video.